Hello there, good morning. It's 11:30 and welcome to news from here on GHOne television. We're live from our studios at the Platinum Place, Northridge, also live on Facebook, on X and on YouTube at GHOne TV. Here's what to expect in the next 60 minutes. Preliminary investigations into China City Mall in Santase reveals inferno started from the mall's warehouse. We have more from the Ghana National Fire Service as well as a live report from the scene shortly. Also, 9 ministers out of 28 MPs cited for unauthorized absence between January and March 2025. We find out, how does this affect legislative business? Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, reveals some of its hotels urgently need strategic redevelopment partners, although there are no plans to put them on sale. And elsewhere, death toll rises as aid struggles to reach parts of Jamaica as hurricane bites hard. Stay with me because I've got details of these stories and more. Well, grateful for your company this morning. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Details now. A guardian accused of inflicting burn wounds on the private part of a 7-year-old girl for bedwetting has been rearrested after GH1 News report. The victim, Amina Abdul Fattah, is battling severe burns after her guardian, identified only as Aisha, allegedly pressed a heated spoon against the private parts, upper thighs and her buttocks. Now, she reportedly warned young Amina not to disclose the horrific incident to anyone or face worse. A concerned community leader is said to have reported the matter to the Kotobabi police station, which led to the arrest of the alleged perpetrator, but was later released after pressure from Amina's father and grandmother to settle the matter at home. Here's GH1 TV's Nadima Umar Uthman with a report that led to the rearrest.
7-year-old Amina Abdul Fattah bears scars no child should ever endure. Severe burns allegedly inflicted by her guardian, identified as Aisha. As punishment for bedwetting, Aisha reportedly heated a spoon over a coal pot, pinned Amina down, muffled her screams, and pressed the hot metal onto her private parts, upper thighs and buns.
She bent me because I always wet the bed.
Amina's mother says her daughter was warned never to tell anyone. But her secret pain was discovered by a teacher at school, which led to a concerned community leader to report the case at the Kotobabi police station, leading to her guardian's arrest. However, the case was later dismissed after Amina's father and grandmother allegedly pressured the community leader to withdraw the case, insisting that the matter would be settled within the family.
When
it happened, they wanted to cover the matter up, but some neighbors came to my daughter's rescue and rushed her to the hospital.
But the 7-year-old's ordeal stretches back years. After her parents divorced, her father took her away as a baby, passing her from one home to another before she ended up with her current guardian, Aisha, who lives in Mamobi, Accra.
She threatened her that she shouldn't tell anyone, but the severity of the injuries alerted the school authorities.
Her mother, Salamatu, insists she only found out about the incident after a local imam mentioned it during a sermon that went viral on social media. Women and children's rights advocates are now questioning how the police could allow the case to be dismissed and the child returned to those accused of harming her.
It was first sent to Nima police station, and then they redirected them to Dovsu, I believe, in Kutubabi, and they forced him to take the case out. And he told me that he was forced to sign the docket or something so that the case will be taken out of the police station. Now, both the police and the family, because the police was telling him he's not family, and that is where I'm I don't understand. I'm confused. So I want this to be cleared. Dovsu is there to protect the rights of the child, and a crime was committed and it was reported. And now you are saying because the father didn't come to report it, you took the case out. So who is to protect the child?
For now, 7-year-old Amina is recovering from her wounds, while her mother Salamatu continues to fight for custody, justice, and a safer future for her daughter. Reporting for GHOne News, I am Nadima Umar Uthman, Accra.
Well, quite a very worrying development there, and we do hope that the little Amina gets some justice as well as a proper shelter as well for her to grow as any young child would dream of. But away from that, a recent parliamentary attendance audit has uncovered that some members of parliament missed multiple sittings without authorized permission. Now, the audit, which reviewed 43 parliamentary sessions held between January and March 2025, found that some MPs were absent on more than 20 occasions. Now, notably, Finance Minister and Member of Parliament for Ejumako Inyanisiam, Dr. Kasiala Tuforsen, was absent for 17 sittings, while Foreign Affairs Minister and Northton MP Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa missed 14. Now, this has reignited conversations surrounding how arrangements or such arrangements affect the effectiveness of the legislative arm of government and what remedies can really be proffered to cure the menace. So, joining me in studio now is the man who represents us in Parliament. He is not an MP, but he is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, Ibrahim Al-Hassan, to give us a breakdown of the numbers we're looking at. So, Ibrahim, we're looking at 28 of these MPs in this Parliament, Indeed. Missing quite a lot of parliamentary sittings without asking for permission whatsoever. But break it down for me. Are they repeat offenders? Because I know that over the years, we've been seeing these reports come out from Parliament. Did you see any of those names in there?
Well, so here's the thing. This covers the very first meeting. And that's when this Parliament came into inception. That's January 7 to March. So, indeed, some ministers had been appointed. Not all of them, in essence, had been cleared and what have you. But of course, this is the early stage of the 9th Parliament. That point must be made. Yes. The worst culprit will be Honorable Joseph Frimpong, who absented himself for 22 days. And that's Member of Parliament from Koko. Not a member of the majority, a member of the minority. And he was not well. Okay. He was not well, and he's still not been well. But every now and then he makes it to Parliament. When you come to the records of attendance in Parliament, 3 categories. You are there, present. You are not there, absent. And then there's a 3rd layer, absent with permission. If you seek for permission from the Speaker and you are absent, it is not counted as you being absent. The reason why the constitutional provision can be triggered if you miss Parliament for 15 days in a meeting. But in a situation where you are absent without permission, then the countdown starts. And so, yes, you are right that these ministers that you mentioned, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who's been absent for 14 days, right? And then many others as well, were absent by the dint of the fact that their job dictated that they were absent from the chamber on those occasions. However, the simple exercise that ought to have been done was to write to the Speaker and seek for permission, and that will have resulted in this. In my engagement with some of them, indeed, that was done. In fact, some have shown me evidence.
That they wrote to the Speaker?
MP for Botiano English amount from, which subsequently will bring to viewers, indeed was sick. He was afflicted by COVID, got an excuse duty, sent to the Speaker's office, nonetheless, he's been captured here as having absented himself for 8 days. 8 days. And so it's about the record and how these permissions that have been sought in written form are carried out. Of course, in the coming days, I'm sure these MPs will have reason to explain how come they found themselves here. But like I said, if you absent yourself, mind you, the Speaker has issued a stern warning to them. This is the very first one. The second one is also there for the second meeting. And then the third meeting that has started, the Speaker's warning to them is that this one is waived. The next one that will come is equally waived. But if in this meeting, which is the final meeting, you will still miss Parliament without permission for 15 days or more, then you have the Privileges Committee to contend with. And after your engagement with the Privileges Committee, it's possible that your seat can be declared vacant.
Interesting. Well, and finally, when we look at the 28 names that have been put out there, how many are the minority side, how many are on the majority side?
Well, so the majority members are from the majority side. Let me first of all take you through the ministers. There are 9 ministers.
Right, 9 ministers.
9 ministers. Yes. So Mutaka Mubarak, who absented himself for 8 days. Jifa Gomashi, 8 days. Emmanuel Amakufibo, 8 days. Dominic Ayeni Akutringa, 8 days. You talk about Ibrahim Ahmed, 10 days. And then Health Minister, 10 days. And Energy Minister, that's Jenapo Abdullahi John, 11 days. And then the Foreign Affairs Minister, 14 days. The Finance Minister is the worst of the pack of the ministers. 17 days, Dr. Kesela Tufosa. So take this 9 out of the 28, and then you come to the realization that the majority of the 28 are from the majority side. Majority of the MPs who have absented themselves are from the majority side. Of course, there are a number of them who are equally from the minority. And as I mentioned, the worst culprit, Honorable Joseph Frimpong, is the Member of Parliament for Nkoko, who has been sick for a while. In fact, he was afflicted with stroke. He still manages to make it to Parliament, of course, but with the difficulty moving.
Okay, Ibrahim, thank you so much for giving us the breakdown. But let's speak to a man who works with an organization that has also been very, very keen and very interested in issues surrounding MPs' absenteeism. In fact, over the years, they have been championing calls for MPs to be missing Parliament and for measures to be put in place to deal with MPs who actually miss Parliament without getting authorization from the Speaker. And Nehemiah Tiga is with the Parliamentary Monitoring Group, ODICRO, and he's joined me on the phone line on Zoom now. So, Nehemiah, if you can hear me, basically, how does this come to you, knowing that, yes, the work you've been doing over the years, parliamentarians still are not changing. We still have a situation where they're missing Parliament without authorization.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. I mean, it's exciting that Parliament themselves have put this out because since 2012, we've monitored parliamentary proceedings and we've churned out detailed reports around absenteeism. We've engaged successive speakers. Some speakers will even ask us not to publish reports because it will change the fortunes of MPs. But we'll say that this is also a wake-up call and it's an opportunity for citizens to be happy because being in Parliament is not a ceremonial duty. It's actually the basic foundation of representation. And so when you look at this, you think that, okay, we are moving in a direction where there's some level of transparency around attendance of MPs by their house itself. But the findings is not strange for us because over the years we've seen that because we continue to practice a form of governance where there's a fusion of the arms of government rather than a separation. Once you have members of Parliament being ministers of state, you are going to have this type of thing happen. And if you look at it, you find that a large number of these members of Parliament who are in contravention of the article of the Constitution or even the Standing Order 17 are folks who are ministers of state. And so they will have other official duties to carry out. That is not an excuse, though, because filling that form or seeking permission from the Speaker is not something that is rocket science. And so they should be able to do that. Even the MPs who you would say have fallen sick and all of that, I think that rules are rules that should be adhered to. And so if we have set these rules, then we should be able to carry them out and ensure that we are representing the people that have voted us to go and represent them. Else, we are going to find ourselves in a place where the voices of the citizen is absent from the legislature, and that's not what we want. And so if you see Kesel at Forsen and you see the foreign minister in there, you may understand that they travel a lot and everything, but that does not take the fact away that they should be asking for permission to be absent. We've had previous foreign ministers write to us, pointing out, in fact, outlining all the trips that they've taken just to justify that the report we put out there should be skewed in a way that they should be omitted because they are on official duties. But it doesn't change the fact that the rules say that you have to be absent with permission.
Exactly. And that's what brings me to the question of the mechanisms that are in place and why we seem to have those mechanisms flouted, or in other ways, it doesn't seem effective.
Well, I mean, because no speaker has, or no parliament has pushed the constitutional provision that requires members of parliament to lose their seats if they miss 15 sittings and more constantly. And so you find that they may refer to the Privileges Committee, which is in their standing orders, to say that on the basis of that, let's refer them to the Privileges Committee. And when that happens, it's almost a situation where there will be no proper investigation to say, oh, this person's absence was inexcusable and there was no proper justification, and so they should lose their seats and then there should be a by-election or something. So you notice that it's almost acting with kid gloves on this particular subject. And because they also know that nothing will happen, they can't be bothered. And when we started our work, we realized some MPs would find ways to get themselves marked as present when they are not present, or even go and get marked and leave. And so they even do that just to ensure that when the public find out that they are absent, they won't be upset. And so let's make sure I'm captured as somebody who is present. But the issue of actually getting to that point where Article 97 Clause 1C is applied to the letter, I don't think it will happen. Maybe
but Nehemiah, Speaker has given the warning this time around that if you miss 15 sittings, your seat will be declared vacant. And he's said that he's going to strictly enforce that. Does that give you the confidence that you've been looking for?
Well, I mean, the same speaker had the opportunity when Adwa Safo and Hemikote and the rest of the folks were put out there. We wrote to him and said, you know what, there are 30 more MPs who are in contravention of the article in the Constitution. And so if you are going to apply this, apply it to all of them. That didn't happen. So I'm wondering what has changed. But if that happens, I think we'll all be happy, because then it will be a positive step towards that sort of transparency. But let's just ask this question. Would this lead to real accountability, or it will just end up as another headline?
Absolutely. Nehemiah, thank you so much leaving us with that question there. Nehemiah Atiga is policy lead at Odikro. Now, speaking still about Parliament, the Speaker of the House, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin, has been appointed a member of the Inter-Parliamentary Union's Task Force on the peaceful resolution of the war between Russia and Ukraine. The appointment was confirmed by the IPU president, who praised Speaker Bagbin for his integrity, impartiality, and ability to build trust with all parties. The speaker now joins 7 other distinguished parliamentarians drawn from all 6 IPU geopolitical groups. Now, in a letter appointing Speaker Bagbin to the task force, the Secretary General of the IPU, Martin Chungong, expressed confidence in the speaker's contribution to peace efforts. The IPU task force was established in March 2022 as an ad hoc body to promote dialogue between parliamentarians from Ukraine and the Russian Federation. Now, since its creation, the task force has held over 13 meetings and conducted a mission to Kiev and Moscow in July 2022. It also holds biannual consultations with Ukrainian and Russian parliamentary delegations during IPU assemblies. Well, you're still watching news from here on GHOne television with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Let's take a breather. We'll return with more. Well, thank you so much for staying on with us here on Newsroom on GH1 Television. Let me take you to Kumasi, where preliminary reports from the Ghana National Fire Service reveals that the fire that gutted the China City Mall in Santase commenced from the warehouse of the mall. Now, Thursday afternoon's fire raced through the mall and was compounded by the combustible goods in the mall. Fire personnel spent hours battling the inferno, requiring extra help from water tankers to douse the flame. The inferno also raised concerns of whether the mall was fire safety compliant. Now, Public Relations Officer of the Fire Service, DO2 Desmond Aka, explains that the mall had a valid fire certificate and had met all required safety standards prior to the incident. He spoke to me on the Morning Star.
So we cannot say the facility is not fire safety compliant. If you check, according to the regional commander, the place has been certified. If a place is certified, then it means that they meet the minimum requirement for observing the safety standard. And in fact, yesterday they did work even by activating the emergency evacuation protocol, such that before we got there, the workers and even the clients or the customers who have come around to shop have all been evacuated to safety. And we even got the information that they made an attempt to use potable fire extinguishers to the extent that some of the workers even had to resort to taking buckets to fetch water to come and handle the situation. But because of the long chain of fuel, which are highly combustible in such space, in the warehouse where they store furniture, upholstery, and full mattresses, you wouldn't expect that they will be able to manage the fire in the swiftness that it deserves. So because of that, the fire really got out of hand quickly and then spread.
Right, so that's Divisional Officer 2, Desmond Aka, who is PRO for the Ghana National Fire Service, giving details about the incident yesterday. But let's get to the grounds now, and I appreciate exactly what the scene is as we speak. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Isaac Justice Bediako, he visited the scene this morning to assess the situation, and he has joined me via Zoom. So Bediako, when you visited the scene, what can you report from there?
Well, Joshua, I must say that the entire facility was down. They couldn't pick anything from the facility. And according to the security personnel that I met there, not the police, but the mall's personal security, they told us that in the afternoon when they attempted to, extinguish the fire, when they realized that it was getting out of hand, the Chinese owners of that facility told them that they should leave the scene. And so they warned them not to take anything because it was difficult at that time. Their focus was on making sure that all the staff there are safe. And that was what they prioritized. Then so when the fire service personnel arrived, there was nothing they could do. And so they just needed to, catch the fire by making sure that it doesn't spread to the other facilities. And so that is what they did. And in the morning, the whole place was empty. The staff were not there. Only the security personnel that was stationed there were around. What they were telling me is that at the moment they don't know what they will do. They have not even been paid, and they don't know whether to call the management to pay them or not. Because looking at the situation, they think they don't have that moral right to even approach their employers to demand or ask for their salary. And so that is one major concern that they have. At the moment, excavators have been brought there. And so today I'm hopeful that they are going to bring the entire structure down so that they will look at taking the metal place there. Then later, a decision will be taken whether they will rebuild the facility or not. But if you get there, you see the debris of the items that they are selling. And unfortunately, in the morning when I got there around 6:30, 2 young men had been arrested who came there to steal from the facility. And so the security guards around arrested them. So that has been the update. But at the moment, there's nothing going on there. Right. The whole place is empty. and the workers are helpless. They don't know how they will celebrate this Christmas.
Quite an unfortunate situation there, and the fire service is yet to tell us exactly what they believe was the cause of the fire. But what is the conversation in town regarding what might have led to what we saw yesterday?
Well, everybody is disappointed because look at this huge investment being controlled by foreigners. These are people who have come into the country to invest, to help Ghanaians gain meaningful employment. And so if people investments are just going waste like this and the government cannot do anything to protect them, then people are talking about that. They are disappointed. Others are also asking questions because when the Adum PZ area got burnt, the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mubarak, made some proposals, suggestions that the government should bring they should put 1 cedi levy on fuel so that they will use that money to retool fire service. Now they've heard that money has gone into energy. And so they are asking why we are not prioritizing the work of National Fire Service, especially now that the country people are into estate, they are building high-rise buildings, and yet we do not have the needed security to protect those investments. And so now people are even asking, will investors have confidence in investing in Ghana? Because when you do such a huge, then it becomes a waste investment. So these are conversations in town today on the radio station. People are asking the investment government is making so far as these disasters are concerned.
Bediako, thank you so much for the update. That's Isaac Justice Bediako reporting from Kumasi. But let's talk about other issues where security analyst Emmanuel Kotin is asking for psychological assessments to be conducted regularly on military personnel. Now, it follows brutality by a military officer captured in a viral video released by GHOne television. Now, according to Mr. Kotin, this is not the first time the officer has been involved in such a misdemeanor. And in the footage, the perpetrator, dressed in civilian clothes, is seen slapping 2 victims during a heated confrontation. Now, sources say the incident occurred after the officer demanded a refund for medication worth 65 cedis, which the shop attendant refused, citing the store's no-return policy. Now, the man has since been arrested by the military police for investigations. But here is what Emmanuel Kotin had to say.
What the Ghana Armed Forces have done is swift, and it means that they will not tolerate any form of misconduct. And if you look at the officer in question, this is not the first time he has misbehaved in this particular manner. Some few years ago, when he was the bodyguard to OJ, the then commander of the Air Force, he assaulted a driver on the street in a similar manner. And the commander at the time did away with him and he was transferred to Tamale. He was reduced in rank and he has to mark time, and it's only 3 months ago he was given the GHOne. And given that he operates from the office of the presidency, he works at the office of the chief of staff, many expected a lot of professional standards from him. But it brings something to the fore. And I think as a country, we need to start this kind of conversation. We have to look at the psychological needs of our troops. This is clearly a mental health issue. I think the soldier really needs help. So the challenge is that who helps soldiers like this in this kind of situation? I wouldn't go with a grandstanding with what many Ghanaians are trying to portray on social media. Right. If we speak to our troops, there are a lot of psychological stress they go through and they have nobody to speak to.
So he raises concerns there about psychological need for our troops. But let's go over the phone lines and speak to the PR of the Ghana Psychologists Association, Dr. Isaac Newman-Arthur. Doc, thank you for joining us. So what are your initial thoughts regarding the comments from Mr. Emmanuel Kotin that, of course, military officers need to have some level of psychological evaluation periodically?
Yeah, I think that I will not be able to assign any causes, because I've not evaluated him to know exactly what the issues are.
Right.
But everybody needs some psychological evaluation, particularly if the person has some questionable behaviors. And again, also, mental health goes beyond those things. Any thinking or feelings or behavior that affects a person negatively, the person's functioning, the person's socialization, the person's response to events here and there, the person may need help. And I know that when it comes to military personnel and staff, when you go to 37, there is a whole functional wellness clinic that actually does a lot of mental health related work. Personally, I'm aware of some of the things that go on there, and the professionals, they are very, very good. So in terms of care, in terms of mental health care, I know that 37 military hospitals has a very, very strong psychology or wellness clinic that attends to mental health issues.
Right.
But anything that is questionable needs some form of evaluation.
Absolutely. And in this instance, where per the video we saw, there are some who say that, well, all the three who were captured in the video perhaps would need to have some level of counseling, especially the victims of the assault. What would you advise?
Yeah, any traumatic event, actually, the person will need help. Because trauma itself affects a person. They become hyper sensitive, overly emotional. They may have avoidant behavior. They have flashbacks and all kinds of things. Sleep may be impacted and all that. So anybody who goes through any kind of traumatic event, the person needs some form of psychological support,
right,
so that they can be able to get past. And now things go viral, and if you see things out there, it serves as a constant reminder of that experience. And I think that is important, that they need some social support.
Absolutely. Doc, thank you so much for engaging with us this afternoon. We appreciate your time. But moving on to some other stories this afternoon, and tears and pain tell the story of 48-year-old Edith Ejari, a former pupil teacher now battling stage 4 breast cancer. Now, what began as a small lump has become a life-threatening illness that has robbed her of her health, her job, and her savings. Hospital visits and chemotherapy are now her daily routine. Edith is appealing for support to continue treatment. Viewer discretion is advised.
Suicidal thoughts and excruciating pain define the life of Edith Ejari, whose stage 4 breast cancer has drained her body and finances. Once a pupil teacher in her late 40s, she's now jobless.
Can I get
The illness began years ago with a small lump in her breast. Doctors later confirmed the cancer had spread. Since then, hospital visits, chemotherapy, and medications have become her daily reality.
Now, for that time, no more call a furnace and strike. Until now, me no phone, you could dress it. You dress it. I feel the call strike and I feel me qua. In fact, Obi any ho. Until me no phone, start to say, yeah, and moi, go me, if you make a second, me no be on your mammy. In fact, my breath, my ha. No, Nam so my mamma no more if you want and my free. Almost the time a side Kimo bio, Kimo Macuma 6. Hey, Kimo no sumija, every double cobias or a you moja, your test is be brave. You won't rame. Then I fed a 2 dead in power.
Data from the oncology units of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital shows that as of June 2025, over 356 new breast cancer cases had already been recorded. The statistics are alarming. For Edith, the pain is not only physical, it is emotional and life-threatening. She says what hurts most is watching her family struggle because of her illness.
Me bre, me fa pain even back on crossing a canoe. Timmy nam pain mu pa. Because says cash on my son is the same bit one. Capre crime in bio. My cousin money. Timastramo. Some more make a cry. Tifama femuno. And yasam kitwa. The same person minufun me free one me free.
Doctors have advised continued treatment, but without consistent financial support, her chances are slim. Although KKB Creative Club has donated some items to Edith, she still needs about 25,000 to cover treatment costs.
Little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So the little that you have, if everybody is even supposed to send, if the whole Ghana, everybody is supposed to send even just one cedi, a whole lot can be done.
The story of Edith is a stark reminder of the silent battles many women face due to breast cancer, where survival depends not only on medicine and awareness, but also financial support. All donations can be sent to a personal contact on 054 5870 847 with the name Edith Ejari.
Well, quite a disturbing one there, and it's time to show that we are indeed each other's keepers, and let's support this worthy cause as well. But parents and students of GHOne Primary School in the Boku West District of the Upper East Region are urging government to construct a new classroom block for the school. Now, the appeal comes after the dilapidated state of the current structure, where the student study was likened to a death trap. Speaking to Atongo Idrisu Kasim, the school management committee chair, Samuel Akuda expressed deep concern over the school's condition. This report has more.
The chairman of GHOne Primary School, Samuel Akuda, lamented that since 1962, when the school received a government project, which was a 3-unit classroom block under the Kwame Nkrumah project, they have not seen any further government intervention. He added that all the school's current blocks were built with support from NGOs like ActionAid Ghana and World Vision.
The school that you are seeing behind me, that is 1962. And that is where I've gone to school, past even up to middle school. And today, if you have seen the extension of those classrooms, it is the ActionAid that brought added those 2 classrooms. And looking right behind me is also this community building, and ActionAid helped to roof that. So our challenge now is we need a classroom, that even 6 classrooms, that can help us, because the population in this school is too great that we don't even have classroom enough. If you get to the P5 and all the classrooms are choked. The school, that's a classroom that's supposed to take maybe at least 45, some will be 50, 60. So the challenge that we need is we need 6 classrooms, and offices, and storerooms.
Abugbila Williams echoed the concerns of parents and students, emphasizing that the students used to study under trees, but due to the rain and wind, they have had to improvise in the dilapidated building. According to him, they cannot sit and watch their children study in a death trap. He noted that the area is an NDC stronghold and that they require urgent action from the government to provide decent classrooms for the children.
I don't know how much am I going to talk again, because firstly, I talked to the DC, the former DC, Daniel Atampuba. He said that they will come and make a 3 classroom block for us. Then later on, when he stayed off in the office, the one who came, we also go there, so many times I go there, my PTs, we go there several times, but we didn't hear anything. So I'm just pleading anybody who can help us with those things, especially for the government. The government should listen to us very well. Because here, the majority is NDC. I don't want to make politics, but the majority over here is NDC. I can't say the past MPP can say that this is not their stronghold. That's why they don't want to make something. Like NDC, it is your stronghold. Why are you not come to help the community.
Some students of the school, Wahabu Samadu and Awini Fidos, also shared their frustrations with GHOne television, expressing worry about their safety and the impact of the poor learning environment on their academic performance.
Whenever I'm in class, all my teachers I don't teacher because I'm afraid that the building will fall on me. We want the government to give us school because our school is good. The students are leaving our school.
The situation has raised serious concerns about the safety and learning environment of the students. The people of Gogo are calling on the government to heed their plea and provide the necessary support to improve the school's infrastructure.
All right, so let's do business now.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Well, in business this afternoon, the Director General of the Social Security National Insurance Trust, Kwesi Afre-Baini, has revealed some of its hotels urgently need strategic redevelopment partners, although there are no plans to put them on sale. Speaking on the sidelines of the 2025 Media Connect, Afre-Baini explained that flagship facilities like the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel and Elmina Beach Resort require major capital injection to restore their shine and profitability. He, however, revealed that La Palm Royal Beach Hotel brought in only 8 million cedis in returns for 2023, a figure he described as modest for a hotel of its stature. As of September 2025, SNIT manages assets worth 24.5 billion Ghana cedis.
We are saying that for some of the hotels, there is absolutely no need to sell down. Whether we want to sell 2%, 5%, 20%, there is absolutely no need for that. Like Labadi. Labadi will continue to be 100% owned by SNIT because we believe that will continue to generate better returns that we've heard. Then there are the likes of Elmina, La Palma, that would require significant capital outlays. For those ones, partnerships become important. It becomes important because I recall 3 or 4 months ago, I organized a meeting across pension funds in Ghana. So I met 4 of the top corporate trustees and I said, guys, can we think through coming together and pooling a pool of pension funds together, for instance, to redevelop some of our investment that require capital injection, so that we may not be doing it alone, but we haven't sold down because it's still pension funds led. Hotels. This hotel requires redevelopment. We believe for this hotel to get to where we want it to be, we need partners who are deep in the hospitality industry, who can help us scale up this hotel. And the negotiations are at the very initial stages, and we'll definitely keep the media and our stakeholders involved in any decision we make. But rest assured, we have no plan to sell any of our hotels.
Well, moving on from that, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has officially opened the new Mount Ahafo North Mine, describing it as a powerful symbol of partnership, progress and responsible resource management. Speaking at a ceremony held in the Ahafo region, the Vice President said the project marks a new chapter in Ghana's mining story, one that demonstrates what government, the private sector and local communities can achieve when they work together with mutual respect and shared purpose.
In Ghana's economic resilience, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman noted that the gold sector contributed 88.1 billion Ghana cedis to the country's GDP last year, whilst gold exports reached a record $11.2 billion in August 2025. According to her, these milestones underscore growing investor confidence in Ghana's economy, positioning the country as Africa's leading gold producer and the 6th largest globally.
Today, Ghana is Africa's #1 gold producer and the 6th largest in the world. For nearly 3 decades, Newmont has been part of this picture. From Ahafo South to Achem and now Ahafo North, Newmont's footprint is evident in every and many several positive ways. Well done.
While commending Newmont for the 3-decade partnership, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, expressed concern about the devastating effects of illegal mining, assuring government's renewed commitment to curb the menace.
We face a dire situation. Forests decimated, water bodies poisoned, and our mineral wealth smuggled away. This has left behind a trail of environmental destruction, health crisis, and plummeting agricultural production. Thankfully, this new government, led by His Excellency President Mahama, is focused and resolute. We have rolled up our sleeves. Over the past 10 months, we have tightened our laws and strengthened our enforcement, pursued technological innovation, and launched restorative programs that, like the Blue Water Initiative and the Tree for Life initiatives. I'm happy to note that Newmont was the first to answer this call.
The Newmont Ahafo North mine remains one of Ghana's largest mining investments in recent years and is expected to make a significant impact on the nation's economic growth and sustainable development goals. The event was graced by various key stakeholders in the mining industry, including Asantehene Otumfuo II.
Well, still in business this afternoon, Brutal Fruit Spritzer has unveiled its latest lifestyle experience dubbed Pink Table on the Go, designed to bring the brand signature elegance and bestie energy to some of the country's most exciting restaurants. The initiative gives consumers affectionately known as besties a chance to enjoy curated dining experiences that blend good food, great vibes, and the refreshing taste of Brutal Fruit while celebrating friendship and feminine confidence.
The Brutal Fruit Spritzer Pink Table on the Go restaurant experience activation brought ladies known as beauties from different backgrounds to connect, celebrate, and create lasting memories together. The experience took place at Kula Bistro restaurant at East Legon, created a space where softness met strength, where women uplifted, encouraged, and inspired one another. Speaking in an interview with GHOne TV at the experience, marketing lead at Accra Brewery, Vanessa Kavi, explained that it is a heartfelt celebration of sisterhood, belonging and self-love.
Recently, we launched the Pink Table in South Africa, and basically what we do is to give elegant and glamorous experiences for our consumers, who we call besties. And we normally would have like a national, big event, which we call the Pink Table. So now what we're trying to do is to give smaller versions of the Pink Table to everyone by going into your favorite restaurant and then just giving you the Pink Table experience on the go. And so today we are at the lovely Kula Bistro, and we could be at a restaurant near you very soon, and we'll be sending out invites. So join us as our bestie or our Brutal Fruit Spritzer lover, and we're ready to have some fun with you.
However, the brand's manager for Brutal Fruit Spritzer, Emanuela Odamte, charged consumers to participate in the ongoing Pink Table Road to South Africa raffle. She emphasized that the competition is designed exclusively for women to stand a chance to win a fully paid trip for a wonderful experience.
We are sending 6 consumers to South Africa to experience the Pink Table in November. The promotion is currently ongoing. All they have to do is to buy Brutal Fruit from any of the selected outlets that this activation is currently going on. At the end of every period, we are going to run a raffle where a winner is going to be selected. And I don't think anything can top this. And so make sure that anytime you come across our promoter, you participate in the activation to get the chance to go to South Africa to experience the Pink Table.
As part of Accra Brewery's growing portfolio, Brutal Fruit continues to offer more than a drink. It offers a lifestyle, and it is here to stay.
Well, that's your business for this afternoon. We've got the latest in the world of sports up next.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
And you're welcome to sports. Tonight, we spotlight Ghanaian-born English football star Chantel Boy Hloka, a fast-rising name making waves in women's football in Ghana. At 30 years old, the Black Queen's attacking midfielder opens up about her inspiring journey from her mother discovering her football talent to repping Ghana on international stage. Before the full exclusive interview, though, check out what we have for you tonight at 10 p.m. with my colleague, Monica Bukari.
Boy Hloka on the follow-up. It's 2-0.
With one of the newest stars lightening up the Black Queen's attack. She's bold, she's brilliant, and she's beautiful. And she's bringing a little source of flavor to Ghanaian football. She was involved in the Black Queen's dominant win over Egypt, secured a 7-0 aggregate to qualify Ghana to the 2026 edition of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Given her known attributes, ball control, game reading, timely interceptions, it is reasonable to infer she contributed to the midfield stability well. Born on 8th September 1995 in Liverpool, England, she grew up in the heart of a football-mad city. Her Ghanaian heritage was present in her family life, even though she spent her childhood across Merseyside. The rhythm of Liverpool's Anfield neighborhood mixed with Ghanaian family traditions created a dual identity that would shape her journey. From growing up in Liverpool's football heartbeat to proudly wearing the national colours of Ghana, Chantel Boy Hloka, fondly known as Shanae. Together, let's journey into how it started for this beautiful damsel.
It's 10 p.m. with Chantel Hloka telling her story. Now to Scrabble, where the president of Scrabble Association of Ghana, Haruna Adamu, has confirmed Ghana is ready to host the World Scrabble Championship in November here in Ghana. Now, Ghana is hosting this year's edition in Accra from November 10 to 16 in Ghana. The event organized by the Scrabble Association of Ghana is ready to have around over 400 or 250 athletes or players partake from 40 countries.
With regards to the numbers, we started working very early. You know, me being an ex-military guy, I don't give chances. Yeah, so I can say we are about 98% there.
Wow.
The 3% is just checks and balances. We have over 26 countries coming. Yes, 26 countries coming in, and what we are left now is countries that needs visa on arrival.
Okay.
Yes, we have about let's say 19. That's the whole squad of the Team USA. Everybody coming.
Wow.
UK coming, Canada coming, Australia, New Zealand. We have Hong Kong, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Singapore.
And to wrap up, we have fixtures this weekend in the Ghana Premier League. Some great matchups to look forward to today. And of course, tomorrow and Sunday on your screens now. There you have it. There it is. Bechim today action again.
Foreign front, at least 19 people have died in Jamaica as a result of Hurricane Melissa. As search and rescue efforts continue and authorities try to get aid to hard-hit areas. The hurricane, one of the most powerful to strike the Caribbean, has also killed at least 30 people in Haiti. In Jamaica, there are entire communities that Well, thank you so much for staying on with us. It's been a wonderful run with you. Grateful for your company. But that's how we got the curtains on Newsroom on GH1 Television. There's more news for you at starfm.com.gh. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Have a wonderful weekend.